It's me, host Super Zorro. Thank you very much for tuning in. So today I want to talk about what Marvel Legends figures I want to see appear in the retro wave for Spider-Man Wave 2. If we get a Wave 2, we know we've got Mysterio coming and we've got Kingpin coming. If we do get a second wave, what figures would you like to see in the wave? Let us know in the comments down below. But here are my picks on what I'd love to see in the next retro wave. So first up, this wave is kind of based on the 90s cartoon of, Spider-Man. So going with that, I would like to see Blade. Now Blade had a unique appearance when he appeared in the 90s cartoon, so I'd love to see that replicated. It would make a very good wave of figures if they were all based on the 90s cartoon. And Blade looked very different, obviously in the comic books and stuff at the time. I think this was just around the time when Wesley Snipes had played Blade. So they'd taken the initiative to shave Blade's head and they gave him all that new look appearance. Because in the original comics for Blade, he looked very different. He had like green trousers on, like a green tunic and the big long belt and stuff. Whereas in the 90s cartoon, he had shorter hair, sort of kind of afro-y, and then they gave him the sword and stuff on his back and things with his motorcycle and that. That would make a really cool figure. I'd love to see that version of Blade released for us in Marvel Legends. Number 2 on my list, guys, would be another Daredevil figure. It would be a way to release that classic black and red Daredevil yet again. And the reason I say black and red is because, just like in the cartoon, when you look at Daredevil, he has like a shading effect on his costume, where it's like red, but when he's like moving around stuff, the black is like in there as well. A bit like how they make Venom look. And I think it would be really cool to get this version of the animated figure out as like a stylized figure. I think it would look really cool with the sort of red and then the black sort of making it like shadow across the costume. Again, it would look very different and unique, a bit like how NECA make the figures for the arcade games and the way they look. I think that kind of thing would look really cool, guys. Wouldn't you agree? Let me know in the comments. A lot of people have been asking for this, and I do agree. To go along with our armoured Daredevil, I'd love to see this version of armoured Spidey. He did appear during Season 5 about the, was it called Trouble with Clones or something, that episode? It was like a big long arc that they did in Season 5. But yeah, I'd love to see the armoured Spidey appear in that to go along with our armoured Daredevil. And of course, it wouldn't be a retro wave without getting an appearance from Madam Web. Now, she's had quite an appearance in the animated cartoon, amongst other of the cartoons they made over the years, and in the comics. I'm surprised to this day that we've still not really had a proper figure of her. I think we had maybe an old Toy Biz one back in the day, but I'm still even iffy about that. And they definitely need to release a Madame Web figure. She just looks so awesome sat there in that weird chair and stuff, with all the machinery around and stuff. It just looks so cool in the cartoon. So I don't know why they haven't made that into a figure yet. I think she'd look really cool for display purposes, especially as Marvel and Hasbro seem to be on this thing now where they're making figures for collectors, hence the Sentinel and stuff like that. They're not just making them as figures anymore, they're making them as pieces for us collectors. Why have we not got a Madam Web? We'd love to have that, guys. Well, I'm sure everyone would agree. Let us know in the comments if you'd like to see that. Next up is Michael Morbius. Now, Morbius again was with Blade during the 90s cartoon, and he was very different to how he was in the comic books, mainly because they couldn't have him as a vampire that sucked blood, so he had little suction cups on his hands that would do the absorbing of the blood for him. That's something that I think they've kept going forward in like the movies and stuff like that. I think the new movie's got the weird little suctiony hands. But yeah, it was used in the cartoon as a way of avoiding graphic violence, I believe, with him being a vampire. Again, I would love a version similar to this. So the version we got of Michael Morbius in the Marvel Legends is quite old now, and it would be nice to get a re-released version of it, especially with the Morbius movie right around the corner as well. I think this would make a great re-release, especially with that black and blue. I think that would really pop and look really nice, and especially if they gave us alternate arms and an alternate head, so we could change them out and have him in his human form as well as the vampire form. Because if you remember in the cartoon, he could turn back into the Doctor. So how cool would it be to have him, to be able to transform him back by taking out the forearm pieces and put him back in the, the white forearms and the proper white face to make him human again. I think that'd be really cool. We need a proper 90s Hobgoblin, in my opinion. It wouldn't be a wave for the 90s Marvel collection without a proper version of the Hobgoblin with the purple glider and some of the pumpkin bombs. They could reuse a lot of the pieces they've used for the current Green Goblin and just repaint them up, which would be fine. But then we would just need a proper good face sculpt with a nice cape, and I think they could really do that. We need a proper Hobgoblin. Now, I don't think we ever had a proper Hobgoblin yet. Like the way the 90s one looked, I'm not sure. I know we had to build a fig Hobgoblin a while back, but I don't think it looked anything like this. So, I mean, I'd love a proper 90s Hobgoblin, guys. And I think it's one of the figures that I think we need in the collection if we're going to have a 90s sort of retro wave. It was so popular on the cartoon, and it was one of the most popular villains, I believe, on the cartoon. I know a lot of people have said this to me as well, but we definitely need an updated version of J. Jonah Jameson. We only got that version a while back, which was based on Chameleon and Hammerhead with the J. Jonah Jameson head included with the blue suit. I would like a proper version of J. Jonah Jameson. We have already made a lot of custom versions of him over the years on Marvel Legends Community UK. Everyone's favourite seems to be by using the white shirt version of him. With the cloud body, and change the arms so they're not tattooed with the ones from the Spider-Man with the multiple arms. People did that and made a really good custom version. So I'd like to see a proper version of J. Jonah Jameson, especially with that Gwen Stacy figure we got recently. She came with a newspaper folded up, and imagine having that in his hand and things like that. It'd just be so cool. Plus, J. Jonah Jameson is definitely one of the characters we need, as he's, you know, he was both the hero and villain to Spider-Man's Peter Parker, wasn't he? He both hated it and loved him, so it was like, you need that figure, I think, to round out a series like this. The Lizard, I think, could be an awesome new character that, well, we know we've already had the Bath figure, but I'd like to see another version of this released for the 90s line with the torn trousers, the white lab coat, which I would prefer to be cloth, not plastic, and I think it would be cool to have a tongue that you could pull forward, maybe to have it out, and also have his jaw open further, so you could capture him doing snapping effects and things like that. I think that'd be really cool. And of course, if we could because like in the cartoon, he would like come out and he'd have his tongue really like hanging low and stuff. So that could be really cool to recreate as well. So having that tongue movable would be really nice. And yeah, with a nice long tail and stuff like that, that'd be a really cool figure. I know, like I said, we've had the Bath figure, but I don't think it captured the Lizard perfectly for my liking. So I'd like a re-released version with some of these upgrades, like the torn arms on the jacket, the torn trousers, to make it really look like that the classic version of Lizard from the cartoon. Come on, we've all wanted this one for some time. It's the classic Punisher with the grey jacket, with the blue suit. We'd all want this in our collection, I'm pretty sure. We've already had a classic version of Punisher once before, so they would just have to repaint, basically, an old Punisher. Because we've already got the bandana head sculpt, we've already got the classic costume, and we've got thousands of trench coats in the Marvel Legends community collection. So it literally would be a big kit bash of a figure to make with a bit of a repaint. So Hasbro could definitely do it, and I think they should, because they could reuse all the old body molds. It'd be such an easy figure for them to put together for us. And if they just grayed out the jacket, it'd be so easy to do. And I think a lot of people would buy that with that blue suit, especially if you could change his arms maybe, so you could have just the classic blue suit on without the jacket. That'd be really cool to have. So yeah, I think a lot of people would go crazy for that one. And then finally, guys, my top 10, my final decision on this, I think a new version of Venom released with that red and blue look. Because in the cartoon, obviously when they stylized him, he had these weird red and blue color effects on his character when he was the shading and the flashing of the light and stuff on the way he looked on his suit. If I'm trying to get words right, and I think that blue and red stylized sort of designed version would look really cool as a figure, and as a concept, I think it could be a really cool figure. Both to give us some great action figure photography, but to be reminiscent of the old cartoon. I know what I'm saying. It's a really hard one to describe, but I can see from the picture what I'm getting at. That'd be a really cool figure to have. So guys, those were my top choices for what figures I'd like to see in a vintage wave of Spider-Man if we ever get a wave 2. these are the figures I'd like to see included. Who's in your list of figures that you'd like to see included in a Wave 2? Let me know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed today's video, guys, then please make sure you smash that subscribe button. Subscribing really supports us, it really helps us out, and it helps us to keep making awesome videos. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and until next time, may the Force be with you. Bye!